would definitely risk my job for racial injustice. If I couldn't ignore it any longer, I would definitely have to.
So you would do it like when you got bills piled up, you know you got rent to pay, you're going to risk your job for racial injustice. Like, you would really do it. You got to think about that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I respect that.
I wouldn't protest, but I'd probably make the job a living hell for them.
I would definitely have to protest it because I'm an educator and my students need to know that they have the right to speak up against things that they find wrong. But they also need to learn how to analyze things Socratically and decide when is the right time to protest, whether a protest is going to be worth something. But if you feel like your voice should be heard, you deserve that.
Right.
You have that right.
Protesting is a luxury, so it depends on what type of job you have. Kaepernick, obviously, being an athlete, already establishing that, already being on a team, has the privilege to do what he wants.
Right.
I think that there's so many different forms of protesting, and I'm not going to sit here and honestly say that I could have the luxury that Kaepernick has to protest in that manner.
I mean, the man didn't start doing what he did knowing that it's going to cost him his job. He's better than half the dudes out there playing his job. Like, there are a lot of really whack guys that are still at the job because they're white, because they just didn't say anything. So, like, when it comes to me losing my job, no one's going to notice that. I don't really feel like I need to, like, put myself out there just for, like, the sake of doing it, because it's not going to lead to some broader change. But
It's more an issue of, like, educating ourselves and being aware of all the different ways that you can address the situation and just assuming that protesting is going to be the right form. Because you're right, Kaepernick, I mean, he's paid, so
Right.
whether he doesn't work or not doesn't really affect him as it would a single parent or anyone who's not making that much money.
Yes. I'm lose my job, I can't do this for my kids, I'm gonna lose this, like, what's my backup plan,
Right.
you know? And sometimes feel people do recognize things that's going on in the workplace, they put their head down, or they, find different ways to go about expressing how they feel about it.
Can some of that come with him being a public figure and having more responsibility than some of us may in regards to standing up for other people? The fact that he's on TV and you have millions of people watching you, if someone does something disrespectful, you kind of have a responsibility now to speak out, even if you didn't really want to from the get-go.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if I'd say that he has any more responsibility to, like, do something for a struggle than any of us individually do. Like, we're all adults, we're all affected by these things, and you got to take whatever risk you feel comfortable taking. But I would say it means, like, because Kaepernick doesn't have a job right now, millions of people.
Bougie or nah? I don't want to talk to this chick because she still rocks Coach sneakers. Hashtag, what would Kanye do? Bougie or nah? Is he bougie for not wanting to talk to a chick because she wears Coach sneakers? I mean, you gotta keep up with the times, child. Let them Coach sneakers rest.
He isn't. I don't think he's bougie because of that.
Why? Why is he bougie?
Because she's outdated.
Yeah,
Ooh. Like, we past that.
Maybe
Stop.
she can't.
Fashion has moved on.
He is judging her character, who she is,
That's what I'm
based
saying.
on her Coach shoes. He bougie.
But I bet you she bougie. She got Coach shoes,
But we
but she
all
got
do
fat ass.
that.
That's probably why he's
That's
on
why people. Bougie or not, that's not on my sheet, by the way. I don't fuck with chicks that still live in their mama's house. Hashtag, she got her own. You don't fuck with chicks that live in their mama's house. That's not bougie. She grown. Hell no.
Bougie or not? A girl that only dates men with money.
That's bougie or that's just gold digger.
That's hard.
How does that make her bougie? Like, I mean, wait. A female that only talks to a guy for money. She's a gold digger. Like, why don't you have your own? You shouldn't worry about what somebody else has.
Only. That's the key word.
Like, I mean, you would want someone to have money. Don't get me wrong. Like, you don't want to date no broke nigga, but you can't be no broke bitch looking for, somebody to upgrade you to make you bougie. It's like, girl, you're not bougie. You a bum.
That's her standard. She don't want no broke nigga. I'm not dating no broke person because I got a job and I'm educated and I need you to be on the same level.
Right.
I'm not trying to date nobody who's. I ain't trying to babysit nobody or give them my TV.
She thinks
She a bum.
She wants to be bougie.
She a bum.
She a bum. She a bum.
She thinks she's being bougie, but she's being a bum.
She's a bum. She not.
Bougie or nah? Guys that match their socks with their tie and wears a handkerchief. Usually that's upbringing, and that's usually standard for certain, as you said, battalions and networking events. That's required.
The reason why I say nah,
Right, I feel excluded.
because working in the educational field, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's expected to have, you know, a certain type of look, you know what I mean? Especially if you're going to present yourself in front of students. So if a guy wants to dress a certain way, look at, you know, have a certain look, I don't think it's
How do you get apologetic when you get caught or confess to cheating? You were enjoying yourself when you were with others, so why are you sorry? It's a good question. That's a great question. But see, I'm Trinidadian and I don't cheat.
Yeah,
so,
right.
What? With that being said,
I
I
heard
don't
Trini
know.
men cheat the most.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But why a man could cheat and he could feel sorry after? Because sometimes as a man, we might like, okay, we got this girl that's great, whatever the case may be, but another girl might pass by. We want to try out that flavor, you know what I mean? See what's about, and then realize, now we don't like that. Let's go to this. So sometimes we get caught up in that, and it's the moment, you know what I mean? But why we're sorry, because we're good people, we want to forgive or say, forgive me for what I did, you know? It's just being a good person, because if you're not sorry for what you did, then you're a bad person. I think everybody make mistakes, so if you make a mistake, it's okay. It's not,
But why do you do it again? Joking.
Nah.
You got to be joking. He said, I'm a good person. I cheated on you. I cheated on you. I realized I messed up because she wasn't as good as you.
Right.
But I'm a good person, so I apologize to you.
Yes.
What the hell is wrong with you? That is not how it works at all. No. If you want to be talking and you could go out and date and whoever you like, there's no problem with that. But the minute you say I'm going to be in a committed relationship with you, that whatever you do henceforth is wrong. That's it.
But
if
that
you
was
want
never
to
discussed.
What do you mean that was never discussed?
When
you in a relationship, that's the terms that go with being in a relationship.
That's what I'm saying.
You
In
choose
the black culture, we don't, like she said, we don't communicate.
in a relationship that you need to communicate, hey, I'm not going to cheat on you. I don't understand. I thought that was already established.
Listen, it's just a guy thing. You know what I'm saying? And she made the point about
But
the
that's
dating,
I hate
which is
when
correct.
I hate that term. It's a guy thing. You cannot use your sex as a reason for the way that you act. Be accountable for your actions. That's it.
Of course.
Well, individual can't use their gender by the way they act, but you act like a woman and I act like a man. Right?
How I act like a woman?
Because you are, right?
Because I have a vagina, you think that I act like a woman. There's no way that I'm acting like a woman. It's just however you perceive me. Listen.
So why you get so emotional about the
Oh
question?
my God, I'm not getting emotional about the question.
Yeah, because you acting like a woman.
And this is why I can't stand men. Why can I be passionate about something without you perceiving it as me being emotional? There was an emotional connection. She was seeking something else, right? She can't go to have dick just like everybody else. Y'all want to go out and get pussy.
Then she acting like
Same
a man.
thing. Oh, now she acting like
Now
a man.
she acting
So now
like a man, like you
traits
say.
or one in sex is now categorized for male and female.
Of course, because you can't just say, okay, I like her and I want to sleep with her. She got to be.
I could
feeling
say
you.
I like him and
but
I
a
wanna
guy
sleep with
is
him.
different. He could just like how you're looking based on the dress you wear, whatever the case.
Women have the same feelings, you know.
And do it like nothing.
From the first time
But
we
a
see it
female
now,
is
we
different.
know
When
we
a
want to have
female
sex.
cheats with you, she wants to cheat with you.
Oh my
Not
God.
you.
Y'all gotta stop this.
Yeah, stay away from broke, stay out of the red, stay in the black. And how to make your money, I guess, make money, passively. If you got to be there to make money or to actually see your money being made, you're probably not using it correctly. When you go to work, you have an active hand in making that money versus you squirreling money away and putting it into an account or buying stocks or bonds where it's making money while you're asleep. You don't have to do anything with that. Or you do, if you're using like E-Trade or something like that, you go online, throw some money somewhere, pick an account, walk away. And hopefully it just grows while you're doing whatever you got to do. So you don't really have an active hand aside from, directing where it goes. Other than that, it's working by itself.
It's the idea of understanding and comprehension. So you must understand yourself first and where you stand in terms of your finances and how you can then make strategic decisions based on your understanding of your finances and the world around you. Credit, like Jay-Z said it. Credit is key. I think credit is one of the most, and I wrote this down when I was taking my little notes earlier, credit is like one of the most important things you can have in America. Besides an education, besides cash money, credit speaks volumes. And if you don't have credit, you really have limits on what you can do financially.
I would agree with that. I would also add that, sitting down and looking at your finances and getting an accurate picture of where you stand financially. And that could involve, sitting down and coming up with a budget. And just because a lot of people, you'd be saying, I do it all the time, you spend money and you don't know where you're spending it. And it's even $1 here, $1 there, it goes. And if you add all that up, I mean, that could be money you could use to invest in something, to buy some stock or bond or put it in the bank or whatever, however you want to invest it. So, yeah, sitting down and, looking at where you spend your money, be honest about how you spend your money, and see where you can make changes in the way you spend your money.
We need to teach sex because it's not
not
now.
just a regular
Now
sex.
it's not just
Yeah.
about a man and a woman
Yeah.
having a baby. Now it's about what if a man wants to be a woman and be with the. It's a lot of questions.
And who should teach that and when? Like, when is too young to start talking about that? And when
Well
is-
then, I mean, nowadays I feel like even in like my coworker, for instance, she has a young child. He's about 5, and he came home the other day, and he's like, "Oh, mommy, I want 2 mommies like his schoolmates." She was like, "Why?" She's like, "Because both of her mommies have boobies, and I like boobies." You get what I'm saying? So like they're already relating.
He's curious.
Yeah, they're very, very curious. So it's like, especially, I see that like with more so white people, like when they bring their children on the train, they're teaching them what stop is what, and they're very aware, like, oh, Borough Hall is where you go to court, so this is where the courts are, or Grand Army, this is where the library is. But on the other hand, like, blacks are like, just sit down, like, sit down and don't move, kind of thing. But it's like these children are very, very curious, and you want to be able to educate them from young. So I feel like once they're able to identify certain things, then you should kind of like, you don't have to go into detail, but just doing it very vaguely from young. I feel like if your child's already going to school and, their classmates, their mommies, or they have 2 mommies, or they have 2 daddies, or 1 mother, 1 father, you should be able to start teaching your children from pre-K. Yeah.
Well, like you said earlier, we aren't doing that because we're kind of like, shut up, sit down, be quiet, and then you too fast. But then it's like, what happens?
But now we're living in a fast-paced world where it's like, listen, you can't shelter your children anymore. Like, no one should shelter their child, because what they won't learn at home, they will learn in the streets.
Or even worse, on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh my, the
On
kids
YouTube.
love YouTube. My niece and them, they have like this fake channel where they're like, hey, it's Leah. And I'm like, who are you talking to?
My son showed me a video of how to survive in the zombie apocalypse on
Like,
YouTube.
right.
When he was like 9. Why are you even thinking about this at 9 years old? And it was very informative too. Like, I know what to do now if it breaks out.
Like, they learn so much on YouTube, and it's just like, that's when the parental.
It doesn't, it doesn't matter about the scenario that he's crying.
No, he just cries a lot.
It could be a woman, because it could be anyway, because stop crying. It's an expression of get over it, pull up your pants and handle the situation. Your straps, whatever.
It doesn't mean he won't get over the situation. It doesn't mean that he is not man. It just means that at that moment, you hear something, you shed a tear, you cry, and then you move on. It doesn't mean he's not going to get over it.
True, but she said
is
keep
not
crying.
gonna.
He cries regularly.
Regularly.
For maybe a situation, for different.
Do you cry a lot in
situations?
situations?
I do, honestly.
I think it's healthy.
I might not cry in front of people, but
Mhm.
I might shed a tear.
I think we've become so desensitized and numb in this world that it's like, oh, you gotta toughen up, or you gotta man up, especially to guys, because it's seen as a thing that girls do. You know what I mean? So like, to see a man regularly cry, he's in touch with his emotions, to me.
One, if you want someone to learn how to deal with something, you need to let them know that it's okay for them to feel how they're feeling. And also, people get people start crying for different reasons. I know people that start tearing up because they're angry. So if you're crying because you're mad and you're trying to not punch someone, I'd rather you cry than punch the person. But you first need to get to a space where you go, listen, all right, you're crying, you're upset, cool, but when you're done crying, now we need to think about action steps as to stop this from happening. Not the crime, but whatever is the issue that's bothering you, whatever is the obstacle you're trying to overcome.
If he cries because there's no more milk in the fridge.
What?
And you're gonna go back to his house.
She asked if they were crying regularly. You crying regularly?
Exactly.
He's man enough. All right, just no one stop.
Well, you mean like this voice right here? Is one of my name is Trevor.
I'm sorry, Trevor. I'm sorry, Betty Trevor isn't watching this. I don't know why you used that name.
I feel like, listen, but there's nothing he can do to change that. So
yeah, I appreciate you.
Can he be your man though? No.
Why?
We talking about personal me. He can't be squeaking at me. No, we can't.
He can't say,
baby, get in the bed. For every woman, I think it's a little different. But me personally, the masculine part of a man in his voice, in his tone, is a turn on to me. So that's what I'm attracted to. I'm not attracted to squeaks.
I don't want a dirty man with dirty fingernails.
I just have an issue with that in terms of social media, but there's nothing wrong with that. That is not.
Yeah,
I have an issue with that, but
I'm not even answering it with social media.
Because I don't, no, there's nothing wrong with wanting to take a good picture. But let the woman be the one complaining about the picture. You don't gotta do all, I'm not. You really want your girlfriend to be like, snap a picture to you? No, you didn't get the right angle. I'm all for making my man look good.
She can turn it on until she did. After the backlash. Be put on the
Hold on. Go ahead. Wait, go ahead. Once you publish something, it don't matter if you post it. Once you guys sign that waiver right here, and I'm not bitch. That's so nobody put it out for China.
There are a lot of celebrity men that have people sign.
If you don't have saliva dripping all over, your makeup is all washed off.
That's not true.
Alright, it has to be like.
Use your hands. Eye contact is awesome. Give and receive head from a certain angle. Sometimes, if a person is in front.
Then you can do all the tricky stuff, because then it'll get nice and sloppy.
Show me
that.
We start off with around the tip area, because the tip is the most sensitive part. I'm not gonna show y'all, but the tip.
I want to be in the back of your throat.
To the what? Wait, are you doing that dry? Because you need spit.
That's to get the good spit.
Figure out what makes us happy, everything else kind of falls into place, and everything will balance itself out. It will not be perfect because life isn't perfect, so don't sweat the small stuff and don't be too hard on yourself. And learn how to manage time better. That's it.
Colin.
Life is perfect. Life is perfect when you want it to be perfect. You're happy when you want to be happy. You're sad when you want to be sad. My advice to you is take things every day at a time, appreciate the now, look forward to the future, fight towards the future, but just understand and learn that it is a process. You're going to make mistakes. Things are not always going to be rainbows, but just appreciate it. And that in itself is perfect.
Nefertari.
Sometimes you have to get out of balance to kind of realize certain things and take the necessary steps to to figure out what you really want and like where you want to go. So I would say to continue making yourself the epicenter of your life and making sure that you're good and taking time off without feeling bad, whether it's like going to get your feet done or like eating healthy and getting enough sleep. Those things are important because they keep you in check.
I think learning to say no to others is a big thing when trying to stay in work-life balance because you can't please everybody. So learning to say no to others to make yourself happy and to progress, to continue to work on your personal work-life balance is important. Time management, and also writing things down with a pen and paper because we cannot depend on technology all the time to remind us that we have to do.
I never spoke about the issues among other people and things like that. It was always him and I. So it's no texting and all this nonsense.
No email.
So always in the bed. Whenever there was trouble, the bed is like the situation room.
It is. You know, you're more relaxed, you're comfortable. You know, so you're gonna say exactly how you feel, and that's it. But you know.
All right. Well, who else has something for delivery? Anyone else have comments on delivery?
I think I had something, if I remember, to make a delivery, depending on the sensitivity of the subject. I feel like sometimes it's not, you don't need to tell the person in the moment how you feel, or even just make an opinion or make a comment on the situation. A lot of the times, and this is something that I've learned and observed, is that we don't give each other enough time to react, or enough time to let that, that information or that situation settle in before we jump ahead and, just spill our opinions and our thoughts on something and leave that person, walking away with all this like bad energy or just, all this baggage. And I think that's one thing I learned was not everything needs a reaction in the moment. So it's also important to be able to gauge that. It doesn't matter if it's a friend, a family member, someone you're in a relationship with, or at work, like whatever setting it is, you really need to learn, or as an individual, like just learn how to identify that. Like, okay, maybe not right now, I'll just wait, give it a couple hours, let me give it a couple days. People need time to process sometimes if you want effective communication. The delivery is very important.
I think also like on the opposite end of things, like when someone delivers something to you, which I'm learning also because I'm impulsive, like I'm very like, I want to talk about it right now. I've also learned on the opposite end of things, like if you tell me something, I don't have to answer right now. Like I can say, I heard you, like can I get back to you? Because like you gotta take a step away, like I'm not gonna respond right now, like I need to process my own things. So like even like the person that's speaking to you waiting for the right time, and then once you hear it saying, can we talk about this later, like when I'm ready, when I'm more open to be, in a better conversation.
So do you guys do with the delivery thing then, do you guys say like, hey, I need to talk to you? Like if you guys are having like how do you John, how do you do that? Like if you have something to say to somebody, like we need to talk. What's the delivery of a conversation you need to have without having it right there and then? You're like setting them up.
I mean, for me personally, it's not really a setup. I just direct it right there because I've been in certain situations where I would have to be direct and be forthcoming at that moment right there because if I let it linger on, it might become a whole other situation, especially when you're talking to certain types of people, I would say. So I got into like one situation recently where I had to address somebody, it's like a childhood friend of mine too. But I was hearing things that, from other people, but I had to address them like right there and then because...
You try to holler at your girl?
Nah, not like that. It's actually a little sad because, I was hearing like stuff that people were saying like how he's not really like doing what, like he's just wasting his life away basically, you know what I'm saying? So...
Stop looking at TV.
Oh, my bad.
You keep looking up. I see you going like...
Oh no, I'm talking to...
Okay. Talk to this or this.
And you can't walk away. You have to address it. And I just like a week ago, I was sitting in my therapy session, and my therapist, who's an English woman, I have no idea when she immigrated here, but she's got an English accent, so I know she's an English woman, told me, as I was explaining something about my childhood, she's like, I'm sorry, I want you to tell me if I'm not understanding this. She goes, I want you to tell me what this means. She's like, and if I'm ever making an assumption and the whole
it's about, and teachers too are included in this, it's about people being able to put value on things that are important when it comes to their job and putting in the effort to actually understand other people. Like one of the things about privilege is that like you don't have to put forward effort. That's one of the luxuries of privilege. Like white people don't necessarily have to put forward effort to understand minorities. Men don't necessarily have to put forward the effort all the time to understand women. Heterosexual people don't necessarily always put forward like the effort to understand what it's like living as a person who's a sexual minority. Like we don't have to put forth the effort because like the constructs of society naturally default to what it is we already want. When you're in a position of authority as a therapist or a teacher, you can decide not to put forth the effort to understand the person that you're trying to help. But we need more people obviously who are willing to do that. And if your therapist isn't willing to put forth the effort to kind of like take feedback from you, to be able to handle you saying, I don't like you right now, or I don't think you get me, or this is something that's a black experience and that people who look like me commonly go through this, and like I don't think you're getting this right now. They can't handle that, and they're not willing to put in the effort to try to like hold that, and they're not doing their job.
And to build off that, taking one's ego out of the equation and understanding that we're all here because we are, whether you're an educator or you're a mental health provider, you're in a position of service, right? You're in service to this person. So your ego is out of the equation. When I'm not doing curriculum design, I'm a fencing instructor and I work in an after school program. All of my jobs have to do with service. I'm in service to these students. My job is at the end of the day, when your parents come to pick you up, you're tired, your homework is done, and you don't bother mom and dad when you get home. I don't talk about the majority of your behavioral issues, if there are any, because that's my job to handle that. I'll handle that in-house. Now, if someone gets punched at something extreme, yeah, we're going to talk about it. But for me, the extent of that conversation is, today was a rough day, but tomorrow's going to be a better one, right? Because I need you to understand that I understand where you're going, what you're going through, because at some point, I was that age. But more importantly, or equally as importantly, this understanding of like the shared vocabulary that we have here is something that I don't think is something that everyone has, right? So understanding the vocabulary behind mental